Welcome back to the second video about the giver. You remember that last time we had a look at this solution sheet and we talked about character traits and evidence and also about explaining a character trait. And today I would like to have a look at that in a bit more detail. I want to talk to you about characterization and how to write a characterization. In German, the word is Charakterisierung. You have maybe already done that in your German lesson, and now you will learn how to do that in English. For that, we will have a look at this sheet. You will also find this sheet on the Moodle site, and you can download it there and have a look at it, or you can just have a look at it in this video. So it's called an analysis grid for Jonas, how to write a perfect characterization. And then it says PEE. PEE is an abbreviation, eine Abkürzung, for what I've actually already told you, for this idea of making a point. This is what the P stands for. So P is for a point. And then there's one E, which means explanation. And then there's another E, which means evidence, as in Textbeleg, what we had before. And this method PEE is used for analyzing text in English, and it shows you how to structure your analysis. Analysis is the English word for Analyse, or in German you sometimes say Interpretation. And you can always use this method for all kinds of analyses. It's very useful if you remember it, because then you can always write perfect paragraphs. Okay, let's have a look at this sheet here. It says before writing the characterization, you need to think about its structure. Like an analytical essay, a characterization is comprised of different paragraphs. Each paragraph deals with one strong argument introduced by its topic sentence. Now, this strong argument is what I've called, what I've called the point here at the top. This is the strong argument. The point you're making a point. Ihr macht eine Aussage. Okay, and this is introduced by a topic sentence. A topic sentence, we will have a look at that a bit later on again. And here is like a treasure box, because writing analysis is actually like finding a treasure. You will find out in a minute why that is. Das Ganze ist wie eine kleine Schatzsuche. All right, we will have a look at this grid here. First, you write an introduction into your characterization. You say, for example, which chapter your characterization is based on. And you mention the novel you're talking about. You mention the character. You will see later on what this introduction might look like. And then you have a main part. And the main part always has the same structure. Sounds a bit boring, but this is how it's done. You always have a topic sentence in which you make a point. You introduce a strong argument and make a point. And I have misspelled make here. It actually should say make a point. Sorry. I will correct that later on so it's correct on your sheet. So you make a point. For example, Jonas is more responsible than other teenagers his age. This is a point, an argument, a statement. You can say lots of things about Jonas, and the interesting thing in the analysis is that you not only make the point, but you prove your point and you explain it. So the next step is the explanation, where you give examples for that. So why do you think Jonas is more responsible than other teenagers his age? This is why it says elaborate on your argument. To elaborate means ausführen. So you say a bit more about that. Why is Jonas a more responsible person than other teenagers his age? For example, Jonas puts other people and their happiness first, meaning for Jonas it's more important other people are happy and not only he himself. Okay, this is still something that you have said, and at the moment you have not proved it, and you always need to prove it on the text. To prove means beweisen. Yeah, you need some evidence for that. Now, this is why there's step 3. Back up your argument, include specific evidence from the text. For example, Jonas burdens himself with the community's past. Yeah, this explains that he puts other people and their happiness first because he burdens himself with the past, and that makes him more responsible than other teenagers his age. And then there are examples from the text. For example, at page 94, lines 12 to 13. And it is also a possibility to quote this, yeah, to give a quotation, also das wirklich zu zitieren. We will have a look at the novel. It says, page 94, lines 12 to 13. It says, Jonas braced himself and entered the memory which was torturing the giver. Yeah, so here we know he burdens himself with this memory. It's difficult for him, it hurts, but it's important for the community, and this is why he does it. And here are some more examples given. Jonas saves Gabriel, for example, page 101, 102, line 34 to 2 on the next page. Yeah, you can read that Jonas saves Gabriel. And yeah, this is how you can go on with different examples. Jonas defies his family and community, and this is where you can see that at page 126. I also made a mistake here on the sheet. Das ist nicht gut formatiert. Das mache ich gleich noch schön, damit ihr die richtige Version auf Moodle sehen könnt. Okay, and if you finish that, so you made a point, Jonas is more responsible, you explained it, and you gave some evidence for that. Yeah, one evidence or two pieces of evidence, and you also wrote down a quotation and Zitat. Then this part is finished, and then you make a transition to link your paragraphs. Yeah, a transition. And then you write the next paragraph, which is structured in exactly the same way. This is why I've said it might be a bit boring, but this is how we do a characterization. Yeah, you always have the same paragraphs with different informations. You make a different point as a next step, and you again explain it, and you give evidence, and then you make a transition, and then you make another point, explain it, and give evidence. And in the end, of course, you write a conclusion. For example, this shows all in all that Jonas is this and that kind of person. And then you have written a perfect characterization. What is important, and this is why there is an exclamation mark here, is that sometimes students make the mistake to just describe the outward appearance. Ja, also in einer Charakterisierung beschreibt man nicht nur, eigentlich gar nicht, wie die Figur aussieht. Das kann man am Anfang in der Einführung sagen. Es ist aber für die Charakterisierung an sich nicht besonders wichtig, weil es nicht wirklich eine Aussage zu dem Charakter ist. This is why the example comes here. Jonas has brown hair is not an argument but a description that does not tell us anything meaningful about him. Yeah, so it's of no use to his character if his hair is brown or red. Doesn't make any difference to what kind of person he is. This is why outward appearance usually is not important. It might be important if it tells you something meaningful about a character, but then you would again have to explain what does it add to his character and give evidence for that this is true. Okay, I hope you've more or less understood how this works. Before you are actually going to do it, we will do one more practice to show you what actually is an argument, what is the explanation, and what is evidence. And I will use a different part of text for that. Back again now to a practice how to write paragraphs and how to identify the point, the explanation, and the evidence. Here is a text for you, and the different parts are mixed. Yeah, so it's not the correct order the text is in. It should start with a point, then there should be an explanation, and then there should be evidence for that. And I would like you to have a look at this text, read it aloud for yourselves, and then decide which part comes first and which one is next and which one is next. So basically, these are all different paragraphs are different parts, and you decide which part comes first and why. I would like you to do that now and stop the video here. And if you finish and if you're sure you've got the correct order, you can resume the video and you can see the solution. Okay, this is the solution. So the point is, Santa Claus is said to be a very warm-hearted and giving man. This is your statement, a strong argument. And then you explain that, you explain what is a very warm-hearted and giving man. A very warm-hearted and giving man this is due to the fact that he cares for all the children around the world. Once a year he sets out on a mission to bring back the spark into children's eyes, bestowing gifts on those that have been nice all year round. Hence, it is partially because of him that millions of children feel great excitement and happiness around Christmas time. Yeah, so the last part is the evidence. And first of all, you explain what is very warm-hearted and giving. Very warm-hearted is he cares for all the children around the world, and giving is he brings gifts to all the children's presents. And the evidence for that is that millions of children feel great excitement and happiness around Christmas time. So this will be a sort of perfect paragraph, just for you to get the idea. And now we will go on with the characterization. So back to the sheet we had before. Now I corrected all the mistakes as well, and here is for the evidence. You can now see the page and lines that I meant. The important bit I wanted to convey to you is this part here, because it's not so easy to write a good analysis. It's always difficult, and you will be struggling with this for the years to come. Ja, das wird euch noch die nächsten Jahre verfolgen, dass man in der Analyse eben nicht nur eine Beschreibung macht von etwas, sondern dass man das, was man behauptet, erklärt und auch am Text belegt. Und dass das sehr wichtig ist. Und dass es manchmal aber nicht so einfach ist, weil so wie man es schreibt, Point, Explanation, Evidence, ist meistens nicht das, wie man es im Text findet, beziehungsweise wie man seine Gedanken zunächst sammelt. Und das macht es so schwierig, und deswegen ist es auch für viele Schüler immer wieder schwierig. But if you maybe see it as a quest for significant arguments, maybe that helps. It's like a treasure hunt. So when reading a text, you usually first encounter examples and evidence. Yeah, so when you read a text, usually you find good quotations where you think, this tells me something good about Jonas. I would like to use this sentence later on. Or you find explanations about what Jonas as a character is actually like. Ja, also wenn man den Text liest, dann sieht man eher, man findet Zitate aus dem Buch und man denkt, das ist gut, das ist ein gutes Beispiel für Jonas' Charakter, es beschreibt ihn gut, oder man findet Beispiele oder auch Erklärungen im Text, oder es kommen einem Ideen, wie man erklären könnte, was für ein Charakter Jonas ist. Und dieser Point, den man aber am Anfang seines Absatzes haben sollte, über den muss man erst so ein bisschen nachdenken, und trotzdem steht er am Anfang, und das macht die Analyse so ein bisschen schwierig. Yeah, only when thinking about what they actually mean, these examples and evidences, in the second step, and this is the actual analysis, das ist die eigentliche Analyse, die Interpretation, where you find the argument and interpretation. So on the other hand, an argument is the first aspect of the paragraph. Yeah, even though, first of all, you find examples and evidence. Also wenn man den Text liest, findet man eigentlich Beispiele, Zitate, Erklärungen und Textbelege. Und dann erst denkt man, über das Argument nach, also die Interpretation. Und dann soll man es aber umgekehrt aufschreiben. Yeah, you see, writing the perfect analysis is like being on a quest for, let's say, treasures. It has to be well prepared. The analysis grid below takes care of that. And meaningful arguments have to be untangled from what you find in the text. Okay, and we will have a look at that together now and make sure you will be able to write the perfect paragraphs. The analysis grid. Yeah, you'll find this document on Moodle so you can have a look at it. In the analysis grid, it helps you to determine strong arguments, so the treasures, the points you're making in the end, that can start off your paragraphs, that are at the beginning of the paragraph. One argument per paragraph. And you see here the point or the character trait, the treasure, as they say here. This is the treasure, yeah, on the right hand side. So what you do, you go through the text. For example, Jonas takes care of Gabriel. This is what Jonas does. Maybe that comes to your mind. This is something that Jonas does that tells me something about him. Das sagt etwas über ihn aus. And then you try to find evidence. You try to find quotes and references in the text. For example, Mother, Father, he said, the idea coming to him unexpectedly, why don't we put Gabriel's crib in my room tonight? That's page 92, lines 18 and 19. Okay, probably you already know what your task is going to be now. Try to find more quotes and evidences, more examples and explanations about Jonas' characters. Yeah, so this is all about Jonas now. And try to find more of these and try to fill in the grid. And what you should do is that you do this last point, the treasures. You do that last, because only after having thought about that Jonas is the kind of person who takes care of Gabriel, and we can see that on this page in these lines, you can deduce, daraus kann man schließen, that he's a caring, warm-hearted person. So you do it the other way around. And because later on I want you to write a characterization based on chapter 16, I would recommend that you look especially at chapter 16 for this, because usually an analysis is restricted on a certain part of the text. Die Analyse oder die Charakterisierung bezieht sich normalerweise immer auf einen Auszug des Textes. Wenn man das ganze Buch nimmt, dann wird das viel zu lang. Es ist jetzt auch nicht verboten, was aus einem anderen Teil des Buches zu nehmen, aber die Charakterisierung, die wir jetzt üben, sollte sich hauptsächlich auf das Kapitel 16 beziehen. Yeah? So the characterization we're practicing should be about chapter 16 especially. So this is your task now, and this is the last task for this week. Do it thoroughly, because there will be solutions, but not a real solution. So not a very detailed solution. So you have to do most of this yourself, and you have to find out for yourself what kind of evidence, what kind of points go into that characterization. Maybe there will be a solution next week, we will see. But I want you to put a lot of effort into that, because after that, next week, we're actually going to write the characterization. Ja, nächste Woche werden wir dann zusammen gucken, wie man das alles aus dieser Tabelle dann in einen Text zusammenfasst. Deswegen ist es wichtig, dass ihr dieses Blatt jetzt sorgfältig ausfüllt. Hilfe, wenn ihr Schwierigkeiten habt, guckt euch nochmal die Lösungen an zu den Character Traits, also M13 ist das, ja, M13. Da kam Jonas zwar nicht vor, aber die anderen Charaktere kamen vor, und da kriegt man vielleicht nochmal ein paar Ideen, wie man vielleicht vorgehen hat. Ihr solltet mindestens 3 weitere Sachen finden auf dem Blatt, am besten mehr. Okay, good luck with your task, and I'll see you in the Zoom meeting on Wednesday, and there will probably be another video on how to write a characterization next week.